The Powertrain Perspective podcast is sponsored by TransStar Aftermarket Solutions.
Welcome to today's Powertrain Perspective. I'm joined by guest today, Jim Dial, who works for Sonnax. Jim is one of the top technical brains in our industry, and I've worked with him for many years during his time at ATSG, and he's written countless articles for Transmission Digest, including a couple that appear recently, one in the May issue and one in the June issue, that have to do with GM 10-speed transmissions and a fix they've worked out for these at Sonnax. These have been recalled and the subject of some problems. And today, I thought we'd talk about that here on Powertrain Perspectives. Thanks, Jim, for being here. Tell us a little bit about what you do at Sonnax.
Thanks, Bobby, for inviting me. Currently, I am managing our transmission mechanical line. This is hard part components, bushings, drums, things like that. I enjoy getting into some of the design elements of some of these components. And I'm also still providing support for the valve body reman out in North Carolina, doing R&D on new valve bodies to remanufacture, setting up test profiles and things like that for our valve body testing department.
So when these 10 speeds show up at a shop, what are the problems or the issues that the transmission mechanic should be looking for to know it's related to this particular issue?
Well, a little background on this. This came from one of our reman partners up in Michigan, Colby and Corey up at Great Lakes Powertrain. They had some issues with these 10L1000. This is a 2020 and up transmission. They were failing at 30 to 35,000 miles. And they were having complaints of wheel lockup between 7th and 8th gear. This wheel lockup is a real surprise as it's trying to stop the vehicle. The odd thing is that these guys would rebuild his transmission, put it back together, put it back in the vehicle, and things would work great when it was cold. But as soon as it got hot, they would start to have this complaint again of wheel lockup and things like that. And if you drove it long enough, it would just burn this unit to the ground. So the other complaint that they noticed was that there was a PO 747 code that kept coming back. And that code basically means that the E-clutch was on when it was supposed to be off. So they had dealerships, GM dealerships, calling them looking for valve body repairs, looking for reman valve bodies because these things were on a national back order. So like any good transmission guy, they start taking things apart and looking for problems with valves hanging up or valve bore wear or things like that to try to find out where this control problem is, because that's definitely what it felt like. So in this particular valve body, there are two feed limit valves, a feed limit low and a feed limit high. And these valves basically are like actuator feed valves that GM has had for multiple years. So they got to be vacuum testing the balance ends of these valves, and they noticed that the feed limit low was registering about 5 inches of vacuum, but when they checked the feed limit high, it was registering 20. So they could see that there was some significant wear on the limit low side. So they found one of our oversized AFL valves from a different transmission, reamed the bore, and restored the function of this AFL valve, and basically made it to where our default disable solenoid has solenoid feed again, because that's really what this was creating. This was creating low feed to the default disable solenoid and allowing the default control valves to be in the wrong position bringing another clutch on when it was not supposed to be bringing a clutch on.
I realize that this was both a Ford and GM joint project as far as the development of this unit goes, and I know that it's been deployed in Ford pickup trucks and in Cadillac and Camaros on the GM side. Which vehicles and how many are there that the shop should look for coming in with these issues?
So the limit valve came in the Gen 2 applications of GM only. Ford never adapted the limit valve hydraulic strategy. They stuck with the latch valves. So Ford never went this way. So this is only GM Gen 2 10L series, 60, 80, 90, and 1000. And the Gen 2 started in 2019 and up.
So basically in Cadillacs and Camaros there,
And 10L 1000, which is truck.
and in trucks. Okay,
Yep.
good. Well, I know that that you have this fix, and tell me how people can get that when they're experiencing this complaint in their shop.
Well, what they can do is get a hold of their local transmission parts distributor and basically ask for the low limit assembly. Um, the low limit and the high limit valve will both be available here shortly. The low limit is available now because that's the one that's really creating the biggest issue. This is a drop-in repair, so there's no reaming need or anything like that. It has a retainer that goes on the inboard end, and it has a new spring, and then we reuse the original end plate and retainer, and it's a done deal.
Great. And Jim's articles appear in the May and the June issue of Transmission Digest 2025 on this particular set of units. And Jim, we appreciate your time today and thank you all for joining us on Powertrain Perspective.